So I get this comment quite frequently, so I thought I'd make a video for you guys explaining why I do what I do. Plus then if I get the comment in the future, I can just post a link in it so I don't have to type everything out. First off, the tattoo's not a mistake. Every tattoo I got on my body has some sort of significance. Basically a milestone of something that happened to me that I want to remember. Now the reason it's not finished is, one, I went short on money because kid, possible buying a house at that time, blah 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 blah. Basically I didn't have the money to finish it, and plus I wanted to change tattoo artists. Because it started off at the top in one design, but it was done in 2 different days. So the outline on the top, it's all like sharp lines and comes to quick points, and then you get down below and it turns into swooping lines and soft points, and I don't like that. I'm not a professional tattoo guy, so I assumed if somebody was good enough, they were charging money. So anybody charging money for a tattoo and had an actual shop, they must be good. I have since learned that it comes down to waiting periods. The longer of a waiting period they have for you to get in signifies how good they are, because that's how many people they're dealing with. So I have to select a new artist that's really, really good, because I got to be able to fix this and blend it together. So I stopped him. I mean, I had the money. I could have kept going, but I was just unsatisfied with his design. So it needs to be all blended in and fixed, but I need somebody good enough that is capable of doing that. Now, when it comes to the hat actually has a reason. Well, first off, I used to never wear my hat backwards. But in front of a camera, it's very important, because otherwise you have a shadow over your face. And being able to see someone's eyes, you can read whether or not they're lying, whether they're being honest. You can tell a lot about their emotions. It's very important to be able to see the eyes. So if I put a hat on that's forward, it puts a shadow over my eyes, and it does not allow you to see them. I did some experimentations. If you've probably been wondering, how come you've been switching your hats lately? You haven't been going with the backwards hat. I want to see how the audience reacted, and yeah, just as I thought. I got very common complaints, I can't see your eyes, and a pretty common complaint, you look like a police officer, so I don't like you. So that's why the hat's backwards. Now this particular style of hat, and why it's cocked off to the side like this, as you notice, my head is not round. It's got this really bad oval to it. With these flat-billed hats, I can't go straight forward or straight back, because it sticks out on the side of my head, because my head's not round, it's oval. So I have to go off to the side to make it fit. And then this particular style of hat, the fitted hat, backwards like that, that all comes down to my girl, actually. She's a huge fan of Shannon Tatum. That's her star crush, and he did this video called Magic Mike, where he had wore a similar hat, and from then on, I was dubbed that's the hat I'm going with. The conversation more or less went down like this. Hey babe, try on this hat. Oh my god, I'm so wet. Don't ever take that off again. Now the reason I wear the clothes I do with this style of hat, it's camouflage. The same reason a bow hunter wears camouflage in the woods. You wouldn't call them a clown if you see them wearing camouflage, because you understand the purpose. And I think that's the problem. The people that make that comment don't really understand the purpose. This is urban camouflage. If you see somebody out there, not job related, not a paramedic, not a police officer, they're just out there wearing black shoes, cargo pants, some nameless white cotton t-shirt, or a plaid shirt, you can pretty much guarantee they got a gun. These people are super easy to spot. I learned how to blend in very well because I had some problems in my late teens. I started getting interested in girls, and I didn't really know how to talk to them. I got angry about it, and I started rebelling. It started with like underage smoking tickets, disorderly conduct, and then I got pinched for breaking into cars. And so I started blending in and switching schools. I switched schools like 5 times my senior year. Maybe 4 times. The point is my strategy was I'm going to disappear. And so then I just started paying attention to my surroundings. I picked a specific group that looked like they didn't get into trouble or weren't labeled as getting into trouble, and I tried to look like them. And that's the whole point. You want to blend in. If you're out there with 5'11 tactical, well, he's got a gun. If he doesn't, it doesn't matter. Oh, I dropped the F-bomb. It doesn't matter because if I'm some terrorist or robber, he's going to be a high priority of people that need to be taken out beforehand because there's a very good chance he has a firearm. So I'm trying to look like just your average Joe Blow general millennial. Now, the biggest problem I had with blending in is my love for cowboy boots. And that all comes back. Like, that's the only thing that always screws up my outfit and makes me stand out, is I'm typically wearing cowboy boots. I try sneakers, and sometimes I wear them if I'm going to a real heavily populated area, and I want to make sure no one thinks I have a firearm on me, but I like cowboy boots. That all comes down to how I grew up. I mean, my dad was a stock car driver. I was most likely conceived on a stock car hood. I mean, I've never confirmed that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And I like the movie Smokey and the Bandit.
We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound up, watch our bandit run.
Not as much as my cousin, though. He really loved the movie. Like, his first car was a Trans Am, had a CB in it and everything, and let me tell you, we could drive, because my dad encouraged it. Plus, his dad owned a junkyard. So we just practiced. Like, my driving skills were razor sharp. Now mine were razor sharp. But his were on a whole nother level. Like, when I drove, I was making the car do things. When he drove, it was almost like the car wanted to do the things, like they did them almost on their own. It was just incredible. Like, he'd hit a hairpin turn that would like make me pucker up and stuff. He would pretty much react like, "Ha! You didn't think I was gonna make it, you some bitch." Like, it was just incredible. He could have totally made a career training stunt drivers, which we didn't really look at that because we assumed everybody could drive like that. I mean, why couldn't you? But, you know, looking back at it, okay, yeah, I started with go-karts, and then as soon as I could reach the pedals in a car, I started driving a car, and most people just don't have that kind of exposure. But yeah, so obviously, like any skill, if you don't use it, you lose it. His eventually got dull because I believe he was on the way to Wisconsin Dells, and there was a line of like 5 cars, nobody was passing anybody, so he took the ditch. And it turns out the lead car so happened to be a cop. So when he was like, yeah, well, he said the cop was so mad he was honestly concerned that he was going to get hit with the billy club. And then my skills eventually got dull because I got really good at building cars, and they got to the point where they were so fast. Yeah, on the street it was just fine, and it actually made it really easy because I could control the car like really, really good. But if you hit a bump or something and you're rocking like 500 plus horse, 600 horse, and your foot comes down on the throttle and all of a sudden your wheel speed changes by like 30 miles an hour, it's hard to control. It gets too squirrely. So then eventually, you know, life happens, we got older, both of our skills have faded, so I'm not really into that anymore. Now, the reason I don't wear like 511 tactical gear right now, because obviously now that I'm on the internet, trying to blend in is more or less a moot point. Like, I'm literally on the internet talking about firearms and concealed carry guns, so there's a good chance I might get recognized. So what's the point of trying to blend in? It makes no sense. I reached out to 511 Tactical Gear because I can't blend in anymore. You know, I might as well make myself a living billboard. Like, before I knew that I was going to get my own house and build a set, which will be scrubbed 100% of any sort of advertisements unless they're paid to be there. I was just going to get a green screen to pull down and black it out like that guy from, the guy from Blue's Clues, like what he does. Because, I mean, there's so much visible advertisement in here. I should be getting a check for like $2,000 every single time I upload a video, but I'm not. So I want to remove that stuff. But anyways, I reached out to 511 Tactical because I thought, you know, they would probably sponsor me, and I don't understand why they're so popular because their clothes are completely useless for normal civilian life, because it comes down to a trade-off. You got camouflage, and then you got the ability to carry stuff, and you need to find the happy medium. Like the clothes I typically wear, because my shirts fit and everything, waistband carries are pretty much not an option because you can see the clip coming over. So I'm pretty much reduced to pocket carries. So like, if you absolutely have to carry like a Glock 19 or something like that, then yeah, I can understand why, but I would still totally avoid cargo pants, anything plaid, any nameless t-shirts, any ball caps without a logo or design on it. I mean, you can still get some Pro 2A stuff that blends in, like grunt style stuff like that. Like, they make clothes that, you know, it still says, hey, I support the Second Amendment, but it doesn't scream out, hey, I probably have a gun on me. So anyways, I reached out to 511 Tactical because I'm like, well, hey, you know, that's like the go-to of stuff that you see YouTubers wear. But unfortunately, when I reached out to them, I don't know. I basically went on a rant in the letter. I can't believe I did that. I went on a rant in the letter I sent to them to be like, hey, you know, if you guys plug me and stuff, like, I'll wear your gear. And I have enough subscribers and I get enough views to where that shouldn't have been a problem, but I went on a rant and was basically like, oh my god, you guys are idiots. You totally need to change how your clothes look, because anybody that wears your gear, it's pretty obvious they got a firearm on them. It just screams, hey, you know, I have a gun and I either am or want to be an operator. And so they never messaged me back. So I've still got to reach out to some companies and see, you know, if there's anyone that would like to sponsor me, because hopefully within the next, like, 2 months or so, I'll actually have a set and it will be scrubbed of every single advertisement. Because that's stupid. Why am I making videos and giving free plugs to companies that aren't paying me? Literally, like, the views I get, all this stuff right here, I should be getting, like, $2,500, $3,000 every single time I upload a video, and I'm not. So we're gonna fix that problem. But anyways, that's the whole reason why I do what I do and I wear what I wear. So if you'd like to check out any of my other videos, feel free to click the cards. Don't forget to subscribe.